After the departure of Kylian Mbappé from the club after Euro 2024, PSG has grown to be one of the most dangerous clubs to play against in all of Europe. This was strange as the last couple of years PSG has centered their attack based on one player. No one man deserves all this power, and all of a sudden this looks like to be more than a one strongman dictatorship based on a superstardom rather than a cohesive team. There was a large locker room war between Kylian Mbappé and Neymar as Neymar wanted to be the face of PSG prior to the Kylian Mbappé transfer. Neymar desired more space and focus rather than just being a sidekick to the other players with more status in FC Barcelona. There was also stylistic and tactical frustrations with all of this. Mbappé preferred fast transitions and direct attack in football where he could run into a space quickly, while Neymar naturally played a slower, more creative game centered around dribbling, combinations, and possession. At times, their chemistry looked brilliant, but in other bigger matches, it looked like to become more disjointed because the team looked like it had lacked balance. Some players defended less, others just wanted the ball constantly. With the arrival of Lionel Messi, this just makes things way more complicated. Lionel Messi, who is regarded as Champions League knockout matches, the team often looked more disconnected under pressure, which allowed opponents that could bypass the midfield too easily because the front three didn't consistently press together. By 2023, PSG's leadership started to move away from the superstar collection strategy altogether. As Neymar left for Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, Messi left after the 22-23 season to go chill in the beaches of Miami, and the club increasingly now centered itself more around younger, more system-oriented players. Ironically, those exits eventually helped PSG to become more of a cohesive and dangerous collective team because the team no longer had to revolve around managing multiple megastars at once. Along with this, Kylian Mbappé was rumored to be linked to Real Madrid within this time span. Also, Kylian Mbappé wanted to win a Champions League final. Despite PSG dominating the French league domestically, the club repeatedly failed to win a UCL in Europe. PSG lost dramatic knockout ties, struggled under consistent pressure, and constantly looked unbalanced during crucial moments. Over time, Mbappé reportedly became frustrated with this project itself. By the 23-24 season, it became increasingly obvious that Kylian's mentally looked beyond Paris. This tension exploded publicly when he informed PSG he would not be renewing his extension option in his contract. That meant that the club risked losing him for free. PSG's leadership reportedly felt betrayed because they had previously built massive projects around him. Real Madrid was always crawling around, waiting to snatch Mbappé from his feet. And after the 23-24 season was over, it looked like the perfect opportunity, and he finally succumbed to the persuasion. To the absolute heartbreak of PSG management, club owners, and fans. That's millions of potential revenue erased from that one decision. PSG was now left to be rebuilding after the departure of Mbappé, Neymar, and Messi, along with Sergio Ramos, who was a key defender, very much missed. Marco Verratti, as this was tough as he was been around for about 10 years and was a key staple to PSG's defense in the midfield. Then came Luis Enrique. PSG stopped obsessing over assembling the most famous front three possible, and instead he started to build a squad that could actually press, rotate positions, and function collectively. Younger players became more important, defense workout became more important, and tactical discipline became the main focus. Players were instructed to occupy specific zones to stretch out the defense horizontally and vertically. The team began circling the ball faster, keeping possession more patiently, and manipulating defense blocks before attacking space. Instead of forcing immediate counter attacks every single time, PSG started to control the tempo more intelligently. Luis Enrique also trusted younger players much more aggressively than the previous PSG managers. Instead of automatically prioritizing reputation, he prioritized tactical fit, pressing intensity, and movement off the ball. Younger players were willing to follow a more complex positional instructions and work harder defensively, which fit perfectly within the system of oriented football. Warren Zaire-Emery became one of the most clearest examples of this. Luis Enrique trusted him because of his age, which combined his technical quality with tactical discipline. Zaire-Emery could progress the ball, press more aggressively, and recover defensively, and maintain positional structure. In previous PSG eras, younger midfielders often struggled to break through because the team revolved around established stars. Okay, now let's look at Arsenal. After Arsene Wenger left in 2018, Arsenal looked lost. The club still had history, fans, money, and talent, but identity was gone. They were finishing outside of the Champions League standing places, making messy transfers and changing managers constantly, while also getting bullied by more organized teams. By the late 2010s and early 2020s, Arsenal was not seen as title contenders anymore. They were seen as a big club in decline. But then the turning point came when Mikel Arteta was appointed manager in December of 2019. At first it looked risky because he had never managed a senior side before, but he had worked under Pep Guardiola at Manchester City, and Arsenal were betting that he could bring modern tactical ideas, discipline, and the culture back to the club. His first major success came quickly as Arsenal won the 2020 FA Cup, beating Manchester City in the semi-final and Chelsea in the final. But the rebuild started when Arteta and Arsenal decided to move away from short-term names and focus on the younger players who could fit into the system better. That means trusting Bukayo Saka, developing Gabriel Martinelli, and bringing in Martin Odegaard, signing Gabriel Magalhaes, and eventually integrating William Saliba, and later adding players like Ben White. Arsenal stopped buying random players and actually started to build a squad with a clear profile. Young, technical, aggressive, disciplined, and mentally strong players. As this big cultural change was that Arsenal stopped feeling soft. For years, rival fans joked that Arsenal could play pretty football, but crumble under pressure. Arteta rebuilt the system around consistency, intensity, and standards. Players who did not fit into the culture were moved out. Even bigger names too. The club became more younger, serious, and more demanding as well. Arsenal dressing room went from becoming unstable to united, with Saka, Odegaard, along with others, becoming the new core of a new era. Tactically, Arteta made Arsenal one of the most structured teams in all of Europe. They became a high possession side that built carefully from the back, presses aggressively, and controls more territory. The fullback often move inside to help the midfield. The wingers stay inside to stretch defenses, and the center backs are comfortably passing under pressure. The defense became the foundation of the rise. William Saliba and Gabriel turned into one of the best center back partnerships in all of European football. Their strength, speed, and aerial ability and calmness allowed Arsenal to play higher up. David Raya also became important because Arteta wanted a goalkeeper who can pass, claim crosses, and help Arsenal control games from the deep. In the 23-24 season, Arsenal only conceded 29 Premier League goals, their best defensive record in 20 years, and finished with only 89 points, the second highest total in the club's history after the Invincibles' 90-point season in 2003-2004. If Man City hadn't gone on such a run in the early 2020s, it looked like Arsenal would have been one of the best teams in the entire league. By the current 25-26 2025-26 season, Arsenal had become a true European force. As of early May 2026, they were leading the Premier League title race with Manchester City chasing them, and they had reached their first Champions League final in 20 years after beating Atletico Madrid in the semi-final. This was a massive symbol of how far the club had become. Now, I know you see the title, Franklin. Why do you think PSG will win over Arsenal? They have already proven to survive chaos at the highest level. They knocked out Bayern Munich 6-5 on aggregate, and the second leg, they were not just flashy, they defended with a real structure. News outlets said Ousmane Dembele scored 3 minutes, then Bayern struggled to break PSG's organized defense until forward Harry Kane equalized in the deep of stoppage time. That mattered because Arsenal are a more controlled team. They want to suffocate opponents. PSG have already shown that they could explode early and then suffer without completely collapsing. Now, I do not want to discredit Arsenal. They did knock out one of the more powerful Real Madrid sides, as Real Madrid is basically the most successful club to ever participate in the tournament. This may be a close quarter match for this year's UCL Final. Probably one of the more better finals we had seen in over a decade. If Arsenal wins, they prove themselves as the greatest of not just England, but all of Europe. For years, their fan base has been clowned, but this delusion may soon turn into reality as they now explore heights they had never seen before, not even during the 2000s period. Arsenal's biggest strength is the defense, but PSG is maybe one of the few teams with enough speed and technical quality to stretch them. Arsenal reached the final by beating Atletico Madrid 2-1 on aggregate, with Bukayo Saka scoring the decisive goal and Arsenal keeping their 9th clean sheet of the competition. That is really serious, but Atletico and PSG are different problems. Atletico will test your patience and physicality. PSG will test your spacing, speed, ability to defend chaos. The simplest reason that PSG could win this is Arsenal, although they're more controlled, but PSG is way more explosive. In the final, control matters as much as being explosive does. There are moments that could decide the game. If PSG scores first, Arsenal may have to open up, and that's exactly when PSG becomes very terrifying. My prediction could be that PSG may win 4-3 over Arsenal, going into extra time, of course, with PSG winning because their speed and transition and big game experience create just enough separation. But do not go on Kalshi and bet your money on this game because anyone could win. I could be completely wrong with this scenario, of course.